according to Chloe Peterson, Caitlin Clark will be a part of the CBA meeting that is taking place on Thursday in Indianapolis between the WNBA Players Union and the owners and WNBA leadership coming. This is huge news for what could be a make or break when it comes to the new CBA for the players. And some of the news that we have seen of late has not really been too favorable towards the players. It's been a lot of people coming up with various quoting, like A'ja Wilson was kind of stunned by thinking what the owners think of them. Sasha Sabally has been vocal, Angel Reese has been vocal, and it's been a entire black cloud, I would say, hanging over this season. And it is like one of David Falk had said, who was Michael Jordan's agent, that the biggest star in the league, Caitlin Clark, has to be a part of these negotiations. And for a while, I was unsure if the Players Union was going to embrace Caitlin in, bringing her in to be a part of this. And I didn't know if, this was something that Caitlin necessarily wanted to take on as a battle that she is on the front lines for. At the end of the day, this is a worker versus, labor force disagreement. And a lot of us, I don't know about you, but I'm not an owner. I'm not a boss of anything. So I'm going to tend to be on the side of the players. I want these ladies to get compensated for the stuff they brought to the league. I want them to share in the growth. I want them to come out here and really reap the benefits of the fame that is coming. We watch players play. We don't watch owners own. And I think it is very important to not be swayed by the public perception of just like, hey, you think these people have made money. Like I've read like a lot of terrible things about how the players kind of like get treated, and like you don't make money and all this other stuff. Like I one time I was seeing people say you should negotiate based on the profits of something. I'm like, when would you ever take a job that you only get paid if there's money coming back after the investment? This is not a car dealership. This is not a door-to-door vacuum cleaning service. This is a professional sport that has global penetration, global reach. Has there been struggles trying to grow the league? Absolutely. But it is a new day the last 2 years with Caitlin Clark coming into the league. And it's starting to spread. Like as far as like other teams are starting to pick up a little bit more popularity. Of course, Fever's their own thing. They're smashing viewership records. They are, just becoming kind of an iconic brand, in the words of Kelly Kroskoff. But we know what it actually is. It's Caitlin and the team around her. Like that's who people are interested in, not necessarily interested in the Indiana Fever. It's like, Caitlin Clark, and then the players around her, and then the players competing against her are starting to pick up interest. They're starting to pick up sponsorships, brand deals. People are wanting to invest in these people. So it's just going to look goofier and goofier should they remain with these super low just salaries, like to where it just looks like you might as well have a regular job, while 20,000 people are about to be in the Boston arena tonight. It's hard to really justify, like, especially like seeing the expansion teams buy into this sport now at $250 million a pop. You can't hide the money forever. Like the ownership, like if they're paying, that money has to go somewhere. And I know it's not all getting spent on Kathy's dresses. So like we got to see like how they can make it a little bit more fair for the players and the ownership and the investor groups. Like they have, valid points as well. Like pretty much like any union or excuse me, any labor force definitely has things they don't want to budge on. But this is the fight of a lifetime for a lot of WNBA players, and they've accepted deals before based on their value not really being high, and that's how they kind of ended up in this situation, to where this time it becomes such a crucial time to renegotiate. I feel like Caitlin Clark is a great asset to that, because the owners have no incentive to really listen to anyone else. And you can disagree with that. You're wrong. we'll come back. We'll talk about it when all this stuff, starts emerging again. But I think this is a huge step for her relationships within the league. I think this is a huge step for her public perception that she's willing to, stand in there with some of this stuff, because it's not a envious position. Like the labor fights in sports leagues. First, the average fan, we don't see the owners. Like, we see the players, and sometimes there is a dislike or a detest for some players, and if they say something that's slightly controversial, people turn their backs on them easily. So with Caitlin, she has so much love out there, I say, and she has so much kind of cachet that it would be idiotic if if the players union didn't reach out to Caitlin and be like, hey, how can you help? Do you want to help? Do you want to be a central voice in this thing? Because they need her, like, not only for their own well good, like the league itself, the future players coming down. Like, it's going to be constant. This is a time of change, like as far as the WNBA financials, and somebody a lot smarter than me is going to have to figure out all the numbers and how it works and everything. But all I know is like what is happening as far as what the players are rejecting and the owners are coming up with, that has not worked thus far. And we all know those numbers look ridiculous when last year they were saying, hey, here's Caitlin Clark's rookie contract, $76,000 a year, 4-year deal, 300-something thousand. We know she got the #1 jersey. We know they're selling all these tickets on the road. What are we doing here? We know the $1 billion TV deals are coming. We know that teams are buying into this league at $250 million a pop. So they need to open them books, stop crying poor, and negotiate in good faith. And I would say that on both sides. I think that obviously the players, like, you're going to ask for whatever, because you're trying to get something from the league. You're trying to you don't want to give back, because you spent your entire existence giving back to this league and the NBA and the investors, and they made a lot of generous investments over the years, and eventually you wonder how long that's going to last. But the way it's always kind of been explained to me is like, this league, it will be funded forever. Like, David Stern has ensured, hey, the WNBA, like the NBA is not in any financial trouble at all, and they can whine and cry, whatever. If they don't want to keep doing this, they have to do it. Like you have to fund women's sports. It was a mission of David Stern to keep this thing alive, and teams have come and gone in the league through different tough periods. But I think that this should tell us a lot about Caitlin, and I hope that we get transcripts. I hope that we get great reporting on this. It is going to be tough, because we know how WNBA reporting is. It isn't always reliable. It kind of operates kind of like on a kind of a closed society and all that. Luckily, we got a couple good reporters out there that are going to hunt for the details and everything like that. But yeah, I hope the players end up with a deal. I don't want to see a lockout. I want to see the people play. I want to see Caitlin pulling the logo threes. I want to see Nafisa Collier. I want to see what the Liberty look like. I want to see, the continued growth of all these players that, I've been following since their days in college. Like, I don't want to see a lockout, and, I think a lot of you deep down do not want to actually see a lockout either. But this is a big deal. This is very important as far as Caitlin Clark's status and what she looks like as a leader, because you see who they're calling the big dog. You see who the big dog is once again here, for anyone trying to deny it or anything like that. So anyway, my name is Rich Latta. What do you think about Caitlin Clark being in these discussions? Do you think it's going to improve her standing around the league? Do you think it's going to hurt her perception-wise? Let me know in the comment section. I'll holler at you next time. Peace. One lifetime. I'm outside today. Why not? Shout out to Uncommon Shamans. Love you, bro.